Hi, how's everyone doing? How's everybody's week going? I hope everyone's doing well. We are continuing on with our French Cajun for that one day recipes for the week. Just kind of with the week of l'amour. Today we are making our breakfast of the week. We are making croissants. That just sounds so good already. It is a more intensive recipe. Takes a lot of time. You can actually do it either starting early in the day and it's going to take you throughout the whole day, or you can spread it over a day, over like 2 days, I think even up to 3 days if you really need to. So we'll talk about that at those steps. But anyway, let's get to it. It's time for another episode of Cooking with Kaitlin. That's me. Enjoy. All right, so we are using our stand mixer. We've got half a stick or 4 tablespoons of butter that we have let get to room temperature. Go with that. Got half a cup of sugar, not half a cup, a quarter cup of sugar. Would have been too much sugar. I'm gonna do that for just a second together, and then we'll add in our other 2, but we're just going to make sure the butter creams up a little, because with other stuff sometimes it's just a smidge harder. I just wanted it to break up for just a few seconds in there. All right. Yeah, we didn't want it like we do when we do cakes and brownies and cookies and frosting. Just a smidge. All right, and now we're going to add our active yeast. We need a whole tablespoon. So I'm going to be measuring. So I don't know if that's a whole packet or more than a whole packet. Now we've measured it in teaspoons, and I feel like it's pretty close. Not quite, although still some in there. Not a bunch, but a little, and every little bit counts. All right, so there's our tablespoon. We will save the rest of that yeast. We're adding in 2 teaspoons of salt. Guys, I swear, I use salt in so many things, but it's like it takes so long to actually use up a whole big old thing of it. I did it. It's crazy. Yeah, like, what are we talking about? It's okay. Then 4 cups of flour. So we're going to do this on low for about a minute. Until it gets all incorporated into each other. And we're going to go up a little higher for a couple minutes. While doing this, we're going to slowly pour in 1.5 cups of whole milk. And once it's all in there, it's going to be 5 minutes total. And I've heard you want to stand by. There are stories of people walking away for a couple of the 5 minutes and coming back, and the stand mixer moves across your kitchen counter, or the dough flies out of the kitchen or the thing, as we see. I'm gonna actually kind of move it down. Oh my goodness. They were right. I mean, you've got to like kind of watch it. So it goes for 5 minutes. It's supposed to be at a medium speed to get everything in. All right, so it's moving itself back down. That's good. All right, we will check back when the 5 minutes are done. All right. About to have our first resting moment for our dough, but we're just going to kind of lightly shape it into a little ball to make it a little easier to roll out on. I'm just putting it on a baking sheet because it's going to go in the fridge a few different times throughout this whole process, and it'll always be on a baking sheet. Just lightly floured it. I'm just going to cover it and then put it in the fridge for 30 minutes, and we will check back then. All right, so that was our first short rest. We're about to roll it into its rectangle, but we're going to kind of move the dough a little more towards that shape. Flour your fingers if you need to. We're going to be measuring, got a measuring tape, to get it to 14 by 10. I'm going to aim to just leave it in this so I don't have to keep transferring it. It is floured underneath, so it can be picked up, although maybe I'll kind of reflour as it's been a little absorbed. But things like that to just kind of help reduce movement and whatnot. So we're getting it into the shape, and then it's going to be its first really long rest, 4 hours in the fridge. We will have a step we do for the butter layer before we take this out of the fridge, but this is our last bit for the dough for 4 hours. You can refrigerate it up to 24 hours if you need to. Like I said, this can be a few days worth of a project if you need it to be. But you need at least 4 hours before you go on to the next. And there will be another time where you need to refrigerate it at least 4 hours. So just kind of bearing all that in mind. All right, so now we're kind of pinching and moving to the edges here, kind of helping it with its rectangularness. Like we do for other things, like we did for the pizza crusts at times, although those were to be better circles. And this is to be a rectangle. But that's okay. I'm going to see how we're doing close to our measuring amounts. All right, we've got it pretty close to 10 inches right there. Actually, right around that. Okay, we're getting there. I'd kind of pre-measured it before I showed you guys so I could see where about I was aiming. And that was good. So now I'm just going to focus a little more on getting that more rectangular look to it. See? for our lovely croissants. And this will make 16 croissants. At least that's what it says it will do. Fingers crossed it all works out. This would be good for brunch, or share with friends or neighbors or family, depending on when you make them, if we're still all needing to be a little more separate. Or, you know, if you've got a larger brood under your household, under your roof, maybe you will all eat them within 3 or 4 days. No worries. I'm just going to double check. Okay. All right. All right, now that it's rolled out, it's time for the big rest. I'm going to cover it back up and put it in the fridge for 4 hours. We will check back when it's time to do the butter layer, because that needs to be done before this comes out, because the butter's going to go in the fridge for just a little bit too. Check back later. All right, so now we are prepping our butter layer. We've let 3 sticks of butter sit out for about an hour to get them to room temp. Some people are like, oh, it's no big deal, I'll just heat it in the microwave. You're going to be shaking and chilling this butter. It needs to be very precise. We are dealing with a French recipe after all, very precise. So you want to let them sit out for an hour. You want to let them get to room temperature instead of potentially melting them and causing issues. We're going to beat them with 2 tablespoons of flour. All nice and smooth. As needed, just kind of 3 sticks of butter. Butter makes like 16 croissants, so they're always going to be butter. That's part of what makes them so yummy. All the butter. Also done this in your stand mixer if you wanted. Just figured since it was butter, this would be fine with the handheld. Or just to make sure there's no little loose one. Those are being mixed with flour. I know it's crazy. I put it on a really high speed to make sure we're getting it all done and all out. And on to the details. Alright, we're going to move on to shaping, so hang tight. Alright, so we've got our cookie sheet with some aluminum foil to help when we take the butter off after it's chilled for 30 minutes. We're just getting it all out of the bowl. And it only needs to chill for 30 minutes, opposed to the 4 hours. Dough would have been in there. It's going to take the butter a lot less time to kind of reach that same cool temperature of the dough. You don't want to do too long with the butter, else it'll almost get kind of back to full firmness and be a little too solid to work with when we're rolling out and doing all our laminating. Alright. So I floured my rolling pin. I hopeful effort to get the butter, and then I just wind up putting it back on there. Oh, this is like worse than dough. Maybe it's a little bit better. With butter at the least, you can kind of also move it around, get a knife out, and kind of cut in shape as you need to get it to be 7 by 10 inches. If you have a silicone mat, apparently those are very helpful. I do not own any at this point in time. So I would have appreciated a little more on what to do to your rolling pin than what was offered. So it's like, oh, not on the mat, or put it on something like aluminum foil for when you peel off later. Okay. So rolling pin issue. That has proven more tenuous. Alright, I think we're going to be in kind of a shaping with hands moment now. To help it become its rectangle a little more obviously. But see guys, even I'm attempting it, and I don't have every single answer. Just my best guesses. So if I'm willing, you should absolutely be willing to give it. Yeah, I don't know if my hands are better than my rolling pin was. Well, the rolling pin did help some, but it's just not the ease with which it's implied. Oh, just roll. And you just want to let somebody else to burn. What do I know? Also, some people who just spread it straight onto the dough and just filled a little longer. Fill the dough a little longer. That seemed. Okay, now do this. That way you can make sure it's all precise. I know. I can't touch the thing. Alright, just gonna get a little clean of that. I'm looking dry and it's like, those are nothing I'm looking for. Alright, so we got 10 by 7. Just we want. I'll put this on a tray and then in the fridge for 30 minutes, then we'll check back. All right, so just taking the dough out of the fridge. About to put our butter in the middle. Remove all aluminum foil. I got a little cut. That's fine. It's fine. All right. So what we're doing now is we're going to fold our dough over. Might have made it. It's measured pretty appropriately, but we're going to have to kind of pull to get it sealed, and then we'll roll it. So just kind of pinching it with your fingers. Then it's going to take, I'm actually going to move you guys back so I don't hit you. We're going to wind up going into a 10 by 20 rectangle, but we're going to do this some first. We kind of have to manipulate a little with our hands because we're getting, it's easier than the last time, but we're getting those little kind of ridges that we don't necessarily want because it'll make our layers a little uneven. So just kind of doing that. We're gonna get our measuring tape and measure, see where we are with it. Yeah, that's a little over 15. But that's also a little over 10. So just kind of getting that corner shape. All right, just about there. With that, let's see if we've been able to kind of even them out a little bit. See how that's doing across. Well, it's closer to 10. All right, we're only over 1/2 inch. It's not terrible, but let's see if we can't kind of get it where we actually need it. All right, just about 1/4 inch. I think that's as good as we could start playing perfectionist. All right, anywho, there we go. So now we're going to do our first step in the laminating process. I'm going to fold it and fold it again, kind of checking to make sure. This could go in just a smidge more, so that could be a full fold. Just getting that. And this is where we're getting all our layers is in this process. So we had that first 3 layers of dough, butter dough. Now we've folded that 3 and we've suddenly got 9. 3 times 3, it's nice. We're trying to keep that rectangle shape. Right, let's see how we're doing on everything. Just about there. Yep. So again, we're just kind of pushing with our hands to get that rectangle going as it tries to revert to a different shape in a few of your corners. Just gonna try to get that. Just about there. Just right there. I'm just getting this one. I don't even know that you guys can see it, but this one corner just keeps not wanting to be a corner. It's like, no, thank you. All right, and do this again. Actually, gonna do it 2 more times, but we're gonna rest it for just a smidge for about 30 minutes after we do this round. And now we're at 27 layers. It's like your arm workout for the day. You can certainly be fast forwarding through this. Going, I'm just going to watch kind of the basics. I've certainly done that at times too. It's always a matter of like, okay, when I'm really doing something and I want to make sure I know all of it, I watch the whole thing. All right, so we're at the 10. Need a couple more inches that way, which is what I figured. Not quite. Might finally be there. All right. Now we just gotta get our corners shaped back up. Then we're going to set this back covered in the fridge for 30 minutes. All right, folks. Just looking back over, misread just a smidge. Should have let it rest before we did the fold, when we did the fold from where it went from 9 layers to 27 layers. So now it's going to do its second big rest, but we're going to pre-fold it so that it's ready to be rolled out into 81 layers once it comes out. So it's now folded, it's final time. It'll be rolled out after it rests for 4 more hours or up to 24 hours. You can do this overnight as well. But I just kept thinking had a few extra steps, and as much as I say I watch all the stuff, I was like, I thought I got it, and then I was like, I think I was supposed to rest it and then wait. So mea culpa. Hopefully I did it fast enough. It should still be fine. I'm going to rest it for 4 hours now, and we will check back then. All right, guys. It's been 4 hours. We're going to put a little flour on there just to be on the safe side for when the rolling pin goes on. All right. So we're going to be getting this to an 8 by 20. We're now at our 81 layers. Which is really cool. Again, just getting that going. We're going to get it to, like I said, 8 by 20. Then we will start cutting and shaping. Then we have a few more rest periods. We're going to let it rest to room temperature for about 45 minutes to an hour. And then we're going to chill it in the fridge one more time for about 45 minutes to an hour. All right, turn this the other way. Actually, I'm just going to check where I am on my length. Ooh, I thought so. I thought I was almost right there. All right. Definitely an arm workout. But I have a feeling it will be worth it when we're eating these and sipping some coffee or some tea. I know I think of them mainly for breakfast, but you could have them for other meals if you want. Who says you can't have breakfast for lunch or dinner, or just one as a snack? Sorry if I'm knocking you guys, I'm not meaning to. Let me see where I am with my length. Just a little bit more. Gosh, my roller is so cold. That do, but that's what you want. Just okay, now let's see if we are quite there. Nope, still need a little more. All right, we got it. Now we're going to, well, we're going to start by cutting it in half, which is 10 inches, so 8 by 10. Then we're supposed to do, yeah. All right, should be at the 5-inch mark. 15 sequence. All right, I'm gonna kind of move some of them off and just show you. Oh, then hello, right down the middle. All right, I'm gonna move them off and show you some of them hanging tight. All right, so then you're just gonna do it diagonal across. Look at that. And you're just going to kind of stretch it out a bit. And they recommended cutting a little right there. And then twist and turn. There they are. So you can do that with the rest. Then I'm going to let them come to room temp and then put them in the fridge for a little bit. I'll do little clips of that probably too, but hang on. All right, so we did the croissants out, room temp for about an hour. They've been in the fridge for almost an hour, so we're making our egg wash with 1 egg. And then 2 tablespoons of whole milk. So that we can then brush it over our croissants before they go into the oven. We've preheated the oven to 400, or I preheated the oven rather, to 400 degrees. Just getting that nice and ready. All right, hang on. Oh, you guys see it? There it is. All right, hang on. All right, we're just getting our brush in the egg wash. Just gonna get all over the top there as needed. Well, I should note that I had greased the pans before putting the croissants on them way back when we did the shaping step. And once they go in the oven, we're going to bake them for 20 minutes. Though at the 10-minute mark, we're going to do, so like if this tray goes in on the top and the other tray goes in on the bottom, at the 10-minute mark, we're going to switch the trays and take them out in case I forget to film that. All right. We'll check back at least when they're done if I forget to do in the middle.